I gotta clear my SIM card. I had a few stories to tell you guys. When I was living over at Diana's house, I had Lester Rose, Lonnie, Lenny Deister had just left me. Lenny Deister was a prime driver. I had some problems with my students, and we got to be pretty good friends. And why don't you guys, you know how to fight, don't you? I said, yeah, but I don't want to. I was in my karate studio one time, and I had my own students, but I was over there at the YMCA. And anyway, let's get away from that and get up to Lenny Deister. Lenny was a tough guy. He was a fighter. And I said, well, how did you keep on breaking stuff? He said, fighting. I said, did you go to jail? He said, yeah, I've been in jail a few times for fighting. I fought in jail. I got out of jail. So Lenny Deister was a cool dude, but he was somebody you didn't want to trifle with, kind of like that movie on Rogue Angel. She said, oh, don't trifle with his what his name was his assistant. I might remember the story later on. Henry. Don't trifle with Henry. Don't trifle with Lenny. Lenny and I were going to take a date. We met at the same rest area. He was on top of the hill. I was on the bottom of the hill. He was headed east. I was heading north. So we both stopped at the same time, and he was too tired to walk down. I left. Didn't see him. Lenny said, sometimes in the universe, they do stuff because it's not supposed to be. And I agreed with him on that one. I said, yeah, we weren't supposed to be together. Well, he was friends with the dragon. And it was kind of one of those things. It was a three-dimensional relationship, but they talked to each other. So this is like I said, this is some bizarre shit. That's where I learned about the dragons and everything else. Anyway, so Lenny Deister. Lenny Deister was a psychic. Not psychotic, but psychic. He was a fun-loving person, but he also was, based on his beliefs, not his religion, what he did and everything else, he did not like to put up with shit from people. So anyway, he was telling me about his stories and stuff, and how he was a fighter and all kinds of other stuff. Okay, then I ran into Lonnie, who was actually Lester. I don't want to go up to Lonnie yet. Lonnie's going to be the last story. But then I ran into who else was along the road on that time? I had 4 or 5 of them that I was thinking about when I got up. Now I'm only thinking about 2. Lonnie and Lenny. Alright, let's go to Lonnie. Okay, well, the third one's another one. Lonnie's name was Lester Rose. And they called him Lonnie because he didn't want anybody to know what his name was. He was living over at Diana's house, giving me shit all the time. Because he knew my dad was a cop. And he thought I was a cop. But then he hooked up with this guy named Dave. And they were buddies. Dave was a fighter. Dave was his little protection. And I say little because Dave, I kicked his ass. We didn't hit each other, but I threw some punches that he hasn't seen before and wasn't ready for. And he said, "Who trained you?" So anyway, There was this girl in the studio that I was training one day, and my studio teachers, I forgot his name. It wasn't Mick McGillicuddy, or it wasn't the other guy. I forgot what his name was too. So anyway, we were in the studio, and this girl throws his punch. Four knuckles. Smacks it. Stops 2 inches from his face. And he goes, "Who taught you that?" She looked over and pointed at me. She goes, "She taught you that?" She nodded. Didn't say anything. Didn't say a word, just nodded. Came over and goes, "Where'd you learn that from?" I said, "Well, now's not the time." He said, "Where did you learn that from?" I said, "I grew up in the Russian fallout shelter with Bruce Lee as my martial arts teacher." "You've been trained by Bruce Lee and you're working with me?" "Yeah, I love martial arts. I have nothing better to do. It keeps me out of trouble." He goes, "Good point." So anyway, back to Lester Rose. Lester Rose was a little pussy. We went out in the mountains and the mountain lion was there and he was afraid of it. And I said, "Lester, don't be afraid of it. Don't run. You're gonna upset it. Don't run." He ran. I walked. We got in the car, and he was just huffing and puffing and throwing a damn fit, worse than what's her name was on Wanderlust. I just saw a mountain lion. So what? You don't have to worry about it if they roar and attack you. Then you have to worry about it, because then you have to deal with it. So, anyway, come back to Lester Rose. I finally told everybody, I said, "Lester, the only reason why you're in here is because you can't get a job, because you're a chomo." Well, he started calling me a chomo and shit like that. He found out I wasn't. Oh, then shit hit the fan. I left a couple weeks after that. I said, "Donnie, I can't live with these people anymore." It was still in Dalton's place. She goes, "I know you were going to leave." "Is it Lonnie?" I said, "No, it's not Lonnie. It's just the fact that they're all a bunch of misfits, and I don't fit in. The only reason why I can stay is because I drive a truck and I'm gone, and I'm going to get a local job. So I'm going to go back to my peer's house." "Oh, good for you." Okay, back to Rock Grand Junction I went. Then I come up with this other guy, another Mr. Tough guy, picking on me and stuff. The reason why they picked on me is because I was too pretty of a boy. I was more like a girl than a boy any old day of the week. And the guys would look at me and go, "Oh crap, I could date you." And go, "Nah, you're a boy." Well, I finally had to tell him. And then it stopped. Dave was a class slack. He was a fighter, and he would go into these rings with people and he would fight for money. And he'd win all the time. And I got mad at him one day. I said, "Come on, throw it. Give me your best shot." He punched, I moved. He punched, I moved. He punched, I moved. I punched. I popped him in the chest. Turned around, flipped the other side, popped the other hand fist in the chest and went. And it didn't hurt him. I just threw it enough to where I hit him. And he was like, "Where the hell did you learn how to fight like that?" Girl Scouts. "You don't fight like that at Girl Scouts." "Yeah, I was a Girl Scouts instructor." So, back to Lonnie. Lonnie, real name was Lester Rose. I looked it up. I got it. And I told him, I said, "Lester, you got some problems. You need to back off a little bit, or I'll tell everybody your real name and what happened." His 12-year-old sister, he raped her. I got a hold of her. I called her up and talked to her. I said, "What happened with you and Lester? Why do you want to know?" I said, "I'm living with him in a halfway house with my cousin who runs the place, and I want to know how much danger she's in." Is he a psychopath? No, he just molested me. Sorry. He goes, no, it's okay. She goes, I would have done it anyway, but she was right. At 12. Oh, I was pissed. I was pissed. I had my first kid at 12, but I was willing. She wasn't. Lester ended up doing some time. He went back to prison. David disappeared in the woodwork. Don't know where he's at, what he's doing. We left friends, really good friends. Come on, Pinky. Pinky, Pinky, Pinky. Pinky, 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 Pinky. Pinky's going on a little hiking session. And to make a long story short, I ran into another guy named Dave, who was also another fighter. And I'm like, Diana, where do you get these people from? He goes, I don't know, they just come in. I feed them and talk to them, and then I charge them rent. Dave was totally cool. This guy was, okay, should I or shouldn't I? And it's been 10 years since I've been with anybody that I knew about. There's people that had raped me and things along the way, but you know what? It really didn't matter anyway. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just a victim. And they come and go, and the story's over. And I hadn't been with anybody. Then Randy shows up, and he's over there with us, and he started talking to me. All right. And then I just told him at the park when I left over there at the hot springs that I'd never date him because he was an underwear bandit. But I bought my own underwear. I have all my receipts. I said, show me. I said, I'll be damned. You do have your receipts. Good for you. I was getting ready to report you. Are you a cop? Retired. I didn't tell my bodyguard until I started dating with him. And he found some really interesting experiences. Like looked like a tree, but it had a body. Over there by the door, should just wiggled over a little bit and wiggled out and left as quiet as can be. He was like, what the hell was that? What do you think it was? I said, something that wasn't from here. He goes, obviously. So anyway, I wonder if he's going to remember that. He might not now. At this point, I haven't talked about it in a while. It's been 2 or 3 years since that happened. And anyway, I left about then. And I don't feel good. I gotta go inside. I'm gonna feed the cats and then I'm gonna go back and lay down because I'm not feeling good. It's too cold out here for me. It's like 20. And I went back to the studios. Then I ran into Mick McGillicuddy. And yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I did a spinning back fist on one of his students. And he shook. Because if I would have hit him, I would have killed him. He goes, where'd you learn that? And I said, classified. He said, okay, you got 2 choices. You can tell me or you can get out of my studio. I told him, I said, I've been in martial arts all my life. This isn't my first studio. Out! Cats and everything. Piece of shit. So, anyway, make a long story short, I have had my years of training, probably about 50 years, different studios, different people, different instructors. do any martial arts along the way? Yeah, Daddy taught me one. Your daddy taught you one. Who's your dad? I said, William Franklin Pruitt. Oh, I know him. Yeah, so you did, so you did. So, when I get into these studios, they ask who taught me, if I had any training. Oh, my daddy taught me a little bit, and I don't start off throwing punches at anybody because I don't want to get kicked out. It's like going into a family casino and letting them know that you played pool for almost all your life. It's the same thing. Anyway, I'm pissed off at that damn cat. Got 2 more things to do. I don't think I'm going to sleep in here now because I can't breathe in here. No spraying. I'm going to step on her tail. For sure. That'd be mean, but yeah, she's a little bitch. I need to get my squirt. Next time I'm going to squirt her. And, anyway, back to Lonnie. We went hiking, and he got lost and he got scared. And so Lonnie, the car's down over here. It's the same thing like Candy did to me. The car's down here, Candy. It's over here. Well, I have the kids to pick up from school. Yeah, and I have to go to work. Okay, that explains one of the old people. That old buck, I've seen him a couple of times. So anyway, I don't know. Why did all that come out? Part of my life. So I looked up Lester Rose on the internet and then ran into this guy. Hey, are you Lester Rose? You used to live over here? No. Your name's Lester Rose, right? You want to talk? Said, yeah. So we talked for a while. He said, you had all that happen to you in that place? I said, yep. Damn. How many Universal Studios have you been into? I said, I don't know. I've been into quite a few of them. So he said, are you the best? I said, no, probably not. There's got to be somebody better. There's always somebody better or somebody luckier. So that was Lester Rose, Lonnie, Mick McGillicuddy, Jim, not Jim McMahon, but Jim. He was called Big Jim, and he was a big Jim. And Jim was wondering where I learned that from too. He went to throw at me, and he said, you know, a real ninja can fight with their eyes closed. So he put a handkerchief around me, around my eyes, and threw some friendly punches at me. He goes, Mick, come here. He goes, watch this. And he went bump, 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 kick, pop. I blocked every damn one of them. Mick was like, wow, really? From you? Where'd you learn that from? I told him classified. He said, if you want to stay in my studio, you tell me where you learned it from. I told him I grew up in a Russian fallout shelter with Bruce Lee. I thought you had some training. Welcome aboard. Thank you for being honest. Dude, you scared the crap out of me. Why, I don't know if this guy's going to try to hit me or not. I don't know if you're mad at me or not. I started drinking, smoking pot, and pot was illegal in California. So it was illegal drugs. And that's when I got in trouble. Rode my motorcycle through Front Base of Poway. And my whole life changed. It went from karate studios to protecting the princess. You know what Charles told me? He finally got a hold of me when I was older, before I left. He said, you know what, why I picked you? Because I wanted the best. But besides, your bloodline, I didn't know that. I didn't know that when I first saw you and met you. I traced your bloodline, I found out you were my cousin. He was like, wow. That was like, wow. And Mick was like, wow. So I was back over there. I left the karate studio and went to my day job, which was protecting Diana. We fell in love with each other. And I still love Diana. I'll always love Diana. This is the part of the story before Jim Croce died that kind of was very upset. No, it was after Croce died, so Croce was gone, and she was gone. So, anyway, I moved on. The apartments I was living at was I forget where they're at. Two Arms in Grand Junction. Teller Arms is what they were called. And that's where I met Lonnie. Not Lonnie, but that's where I met David, who was the other guy that was skinny, wiry, and wanting to fight everybody in the world. But yeah, it's just kind of a trip things were. And now I'm gonna have to mark that spray spot off. I'm tempted to rub it down her nose, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna be good. I don't feel good. I'm hurt. I'm cold. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. There's a lot going on. There's a lot that has gone on. And I'm still in a situation I'm not sure how it's going to end. I know I pissed off Carlos. I knew I pissed him off. He's going to do one or two things. He's either going to come down here or he's going to tell me to booger off. I got out of his fan base, but I'll just take bleach on it, spray it. It should clear it. So I had quite the coming out. Quite the coming out story when I woke up today. And all the little tidbits have been filled in, including Lonnie over there at the mountains. When we out there, we went up to the park out there. I forgot which one it was. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been interesting. I'm over here with I can't even think of Randy's name now. With him for 4 years now, a brain fart like that. That's a holy brain fart, Batman. Good one. Knows it, and it's gone anyway. So, when I get in these places and they want to fight me, like they have over the years over here, I told them, I said, don't do it. You don't want to fight me. I don't tell them any of my stories, I just say you don't want to fight me. And I do. And I don't. I make friends with everybody. Like in that movie where that guy's kid was retarded, and he was the same way, and he had a hard time, rough upbringing because he couldn't get along with anybody. And he was really happy when his son learned how to make friends with him. He was here with his guys and everything, and his dad was just crying, kicking him. It's like, how did it happen? How'd you do it? I said, I just made friends with him. He said, I know, how'd you do it? We had common denominators. I put them together. It's about what I did. Same thing. Believe it or not, I liked Lonnie. My dad actually liked Lonnie. Dad's the one who told me, he said he used to show him. His dad looked him up because I was interested. He said, okay, I won't date him. I said, you can if you want to, but you will be disappointed. I said, thanks, Dad, love you. I do. I always have loved my dad. Even when I thought I didn't, I did.